a world-famous drummer, married to Carlos Santana, and spent years on the road with Lenny Kravitz. We're sitting down with Cindy Blackman Santana. I read that it was when you were 7 that you set eyes on your first set of drums. Mm-hmm. Was it truly love at first sight?
Absolutely, yes, yes. I mean, I'd heard, music with drums, and so I loved the role that the drums played, but I didn't know what drums looked like. And then when I saw them, I was like, oh, that's what drums are? That's incredible. So I dug the whole thing. I just loved the way that the drums worked, that they were with sticks and they were with all 4 limbs and that you sat behind the kit. So yeah, I was enthralled.
So then one day you're just sitting at home and the phone rings. And it's Lenny Kravitz on the other end. Can you just tell me what that phone call was like?
I had no idea who Lenny was, actually. I'd never heard his music. I didn't have any idea what he looked like, I didn't know anything about him. But my friend said, this guy, friend of mine, he's a rock and roll musician, but he loves Gretsch drums and K-Zildjian cymbals.
And I was like, oh,
okay, well, I'd like to meet him just because of that, because he's got ears, obviously. A few months later, my friend calls and he says, I got my friend Lenny on the other line. Do you want to talk to him? And I said, yes. So he merged the calls and we did a 3-way. And then he asked me if I had drums set up in my house and if I would play them, if I did. And I said yes and yes. So I played. And when I finished, he said, I'm in Los Angeles. Can you fly out here right now? And I said, okay. So I get there, and there ends up being like a full-scale audition with about 40 other drummers. And I went outside just to chill out. It was nice and warm. And I fell asleep. And so his assistant at the time, this woman, Deborah, she came looking for me. She says, Cindy, Lenny's looking for you. He already,
it's your turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. He wanted you to play first, but he had to have someone else play because he couldn't find you.
The story? I didn't get the job because I fell asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lenny Kravitz.
But fortunately, I was there at the house with, and I was staying there. But she came and got me, and I played second. And when I played, he said, okay, I choose Cindy, and I want to call off all the auditions. I don't want to audition anyone else. So I stayed there for 2 weeks, learned the music, rehearsed with them, and did a video, Are You Gonna Go My Way, which was my first video with him. And Lenny said, so would you like to join my band? And I said, okay, when's it start? And he started laughing, and he said, it started 2 weeks ago.
And you were with him for years?
About 15 years.
Did you ever steal his clothes? I tell you, I'd steal his clothes.
I actually, I have a jacket of his that I've been trying to get back for the last few years, which somehow stays in my closet. I have to get that back to him.
So you're just celebrating your 2nd wedding anniversary, is that right? I mean, just a few weeks ago, to Carlos Santana. And he proposed to you on stage, mid-set. I mean, you had to say yes. There was no way to say no. Or is just this the way 2 entertainers must do these things?
That's really funny. And that's when he was like, oh, you have to say yes.
I know, what are you going to say, no? Everyone would be like, oh.
No, it's one of those things where, and seriously, when you're going in that direction, you know you're going in that direction. It was a great proposal because it was very exciting, and I didn't expect him to do it then or there, and I didn't even know if he would propose, but it wasn't out of the realm of possibility for us.
So you're here today to perform with the Boston Children's Chorus. Can you tell us first a little bit about what you're doing today with the kids?
It was really incredible because the kids are so enthusiastic and they have so much energy, and they're really into what they're doing, and they sound great. Their voices are amazing. The arrangements were really beautiful. I love children, and I love when they're inspired to do something and to go beyond what they normally do.
You speak of music in your interviews with words like heart, color, vibe, love. Do you feel music is a living, breathing thing?
Absolutely, and I love that you asked that. But yes, it's a living, breathing entity. It's real energy. The vibration of music can change not only somebody's heart, somebody's mind, attitude, but it can also change someone's molecular structure. There are studies about people, who are healed through drums and through rhythm, and it's definitely a thing to appreciate.
Just one last thing. Tony Williams said, and I want to read this so I don't get it wrong, Playing fast around the drums is one thing, but to play music with people for others to listen to, that's something else. That's a whole other world. Can you speak to that other world? Because clearly that's one you play in.
Well, thank you for that quote. And he's right. You know, a lot of people focus on just being fast and, but if it doesn't make musical sense, if it doesn't inspire the music to go to more beautiful heights, if it doesn't touch people's hearts, you know, if it doesn't raise consciousness, it doesn't really add up to much, you know. So unless it makes sense, it doesn't make sense.